G'day everyone, welcome back to Steelhorse Station. We're ready for some more streaming fun. A bit dry this morning. It's been a good start to the week. Maybe you picked up, I was streaming about 12 hours ago. So if you're wondering why when we get into the stream, we've jumped a little bit, that's what the reason is. So let's jump to it. We're going back to Newlands, and I've been thinking about, we might leave that where it is actually. I've been thinking about the transport logistics of our produce, and I'm happy with the Unimogs that we've picked up. I think price performance is good. Maneuverability is not as good as the Lindner, but given that I could buy 5 Unimogs for the same price as the Lindner, I think I can make it work. So I've been thinking that maybe one of the things that reduces the impact, we've had this curtain cider sitting here for a while. Maybe I could use the curtain cider to run a full load across, and we'll just kind of see how that works. I know I can't get the curtain cider into the farmer's market, but I suspect because the tray is a little bit higher that I can potentially unload over the fence from the road. So that's kind of the thought process. So I was just going to grab a tractor, thing with a little more weight to it, a little more heft, so to speak. As you can see, it's raining. We have some seeding to do. We need to get the sugar beet into this field, what was the grass field that I cut in the last stream, and we need to plant the cornfields, although I am in two minds about whether to put corn in it. So we'll have a bit of a think about that shortly. But let's just see if this plan has any merit to it. Because if, for instance, it did, then I can potentially load the curtain cider directly with pallets rather than using the global transport pallets. I don't have to handle those bigger ones. They were more there for the situation where I was trying to get at least a decent volume of produce to get across to the market. So as you can see, we've got 15,000 litres, oh, more than that, 17 odd thousand litres of produce of various types in there. That's a shocking crossing, that one. This little block of land on the left is the next one. Hodge 173, welcome along. Hope you are having a good start to your week, sir. I am very well, thank you. Navigating the rain here and running this experiment with the curtain cider just to see if we can figure out how to make it work. I suspect at a pinch the Unimog might tow this curtain cider with the dolly on it, so I just didn't think of it in time. Has it been a good start to the week for you, Hodge One? There's that train that gets stuck there that I have not been able to figure out how to mend. Well, I can't edit the tracks for it. And I got myself a little bit tangled up trying to give the locomotive more power. Oh, I'm glad that it is a good start to the week. Now, what I was kind of thinking was, if we pulled in here like this, the main thoroughfare, would we in fact? Probably not. Is the answer. Because there's a light pole up there. I would need to be closer to the fence, I think, or get that out of the way, move that. Let's just move the back of the truck across just because I'm trying to test this out. Whoops. Yeah, I suspect that even our little telehandler won't be able to lift those out of there. Slept in, but the kids still made school on time. Okay, well, that's always... they don't mind. Well, they were probably plumping for can we be late? Now, I might leave the forks on the front just because it might reach further. Oh, I've done it again. Goodness, I'm hopeless at remembering that. That's my error. Thank you. Welcome along, Mr. Haythornwaite. What would I do without you guys? I'd stream all sorts of ridiculous nonsense. How quickly into it did we catch it this time? 10 minutes of not getting it right. And I thought I was doing so well following my little checklist. Now I'm going to have to lift this over the fence. Yes. That is what you are watching. Well, like, yes, it was a 10-minute advertorial for Duke training shirts. Now, let's see. How close do you go? Oh, no, you pick it off there. Maybe I didn't need to lift it. Oops. As long as I don't get caught on the top. A little bit of practice running the forklift. Now I've got cabbage in here. And I just got to watch out for the lady walking around in the middle of the pathway. But my thought process that this might be easier than getting the auto drive course to work. Now, I'm pretty sure that the cabbage sell point is this one right here. There it is. Yeah, see, that works well. And we'll just... whack this over here for a second. because the other advantage, if I can get the curtain sider to work, is that I can probably auto unload pallets on the inside of the fence area here. That's kind of my thinking. Oh crap. Drop the forks off. Not thinking. Put down. Up. There we go. Alright, next one along. That works fairly well. Oh, and in the typical fashion, it discharges into the one that I had there. This is part of the reason why I'm contemplating getting away from these, because they're just annoying me in the yard by loading and unloading into each other. It just makes it fiddlier to manage than I want. How do you go high enough to turn there? Up and over. There we go. Now, Mark, while you were there, I hope you had a good day at work. What have I got in here? I've got tomatoes, so they should be selling right about there. I had a look at the, and I've included the update you sent me for the stock check somewhere. There we go. This is interesting. So I think there's a logic issue in the calculation of your total, and my suspicion is it might have to do with things that you've got that you're capturing. Did I copy it into the mod folder? Hang on a tick. Have you sent me another one? I just hang on a tick. I'm still using the one that you sent me over the weekend. So because I haven't looked at Discord this morning, if you caught the stream yesterday, just hang on a second, everybody. Okay. Go. Right. Okay, I can download that one. Let's get that corrected because I don't want to show it not working properly. Bear with me just for a second, folks, while I try and do this without breaking the stream. Open the link. Continue to download. Download. Go to here. And there. And there. And I'm going to have to shut the game for a second. Just come back here. Sources. What have I got here? Don't want that. Right. So if we get out of there. Save that Just talk to myself for a second. Quit that. Quit that. And then go into the correct directory. Move that across. Find it in the list. CSS stock check, delete that one. And take the 3 off the back of that one. Oh, stop doing that to me. CSS stock check. Right. Register it in and launch. And we should come back. And all being well, the wonders of overnight or out of time zone support, Mark will have magically fixed the mod. Coming in. I didn't read the rest of your Discord post there, Mark. Was it an easy fix once you realised what the problem was? Well, that's good. That's looking a lot more like it. Cool. So what we were doing was just checking. It's only the red cabbages best price at Max's. Everything else is farmers market, so that's okay. Cool. Was that what I went there to check? Or was it just to show Mark that his thing was now working magically? That's the sort of overnight support process you like. Oops. Come back here. Now, that one's empty. Oh, my steering wheel's gone to crap again. Let's just fix that. Now. Move you down here out of the way also. Guy will move if I drop a pallet on him. And of course I'm caught on the tree. Oh, please. Collisions, collisions, collisions. Right, can I hook that one in there? I cannot. Rightio, we'll just get this sorted and we'll get back to farming. We'll reset one screen so I can actually see what's going on. There we go. Goodness. Keyboard disaster. That's better. Right. This is honey. Honey goes to the honey cell point, which I think I have forgotten where it is. I think it's in the center. That one right in front of me, maybe? Let's find out. Oh. That's honey. Why are you not unloading there? Is it round the end here? Forwards, thank you. Oh, I found something. Where was it? I lost 5 liters. Where was the trigger? Let's take it off. There it is. It was round the end. One more to go. We've got a bit of cash in the bank, which is handy because we need to get a planter to do our planting. That was the principal reason for coming to the market. Why won't you connect on there? You usually connect onto the end. That's odd. And we've got 1 pallet of lettuce in the end too. Oh god, I did it again. Yeah, it's unloaded. That one's unloaded into that one. Now, flowers. They are one of these unmarked ones. Like me here, I think. Somewhere. I know it's around here somewhere. I've found it before. That's irritating. It's around the other side here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you check on the map, it doesn't show. It's an unmarked sell point. So it's just in the wrong spot, and I haven't been organised enough to move it. And that was a full pallet of lettuce, so it went somewhere into there, I'm guessing. Just stop doing that. Now you've got nothing in you again. What have you got in you? You've still got flowers. How have you still got flowers? Didn't sell the flowers. Okay. Yes, there are fields that need tending. So we're going to plant sugar beet in a second. I'm just trying to get the cash organised to get a planter. And I'm just about finished messing around with this rubbish. Where is that sell point? It's around here somewhere. Okay, I'll solve for the flowers another time. We should have enough cash to do what we need to do. So let's have a look here. There is nothing in the sales that we can use. And we have a seeder but no planter is the issue. So our choices are twofold. What I'm thinking, if we actually, let's solve that question first. So if we look at our fields, we had corn in the south, the grass field last time. And this is the new field, CP3. So my plan is to put sugar beet in CP3. And then I was thinking, well, originally to put corn back in the grass fields so that we can forage it again. However, we've got enough maize silage in the pit that'll last us into next season. We do need corn for the pigs, but I was thinking, where's my... Okay, that's the wrong button, that's why. So, we need something for this energy group for the pigs, and that's why we needed the corn, or the corn grist. So we probably do need corn is the short answer. There's no real way around it. As we need corn for that food group and we need the corn grist. So we just need a lot of corn. Okay, I think I've answered my own question. I was wondering if I could plant something like soybeans. We've got canola that covers the protein food though, or sorghum, and instead of corn this time around. But if it's corn, pretty sure the planting window for corn is open. Yes. So we need a planter. Back to the store. And we will find a planter under planters. I don't want to, we're going to lease whatever the case for the minute because we don't have enough money to buy. So what are we looking at width-wise? Do people have any particular suggestions of things they would like? Obviously, the case stuff is a bit out of our price range. Something like that. We're probably looking at either the Lemken or the Convernland, or the Maxima for that matter. What are the widths here? 6 meters, 6 meters, 9 meters. Let's what's this guy? The John Deere. at 12 meters. Let's borrow. I haven't used one of these, I don't think. Let's grab one of these. I think we've got enough horsepower to sort it out. That will do the trick. So now we need a tractor, which we have. We can leave the curtain side of there. Let's disconnect you first. Stop sign is always in the way. Rightio. Well, let's get back to the action. This will do the trick quite nicely, I think. I'm guessing I'm going to have to... I don't think it's not a drill, so I'm going to need to cultivate both fields first. So we can... it's a bit wide for transport in this neighbourhood, I do say. The sort of implement you'd want to keep on the farm to the extent possible. When we get to it, it'll make short work of the fields, I suspect. So if we cultivate the sugar beet field first, because this will probably only need 3 or 4 runs up and down the field to do the sugar beet one, so we can then see plant sugar beet while the cultivator is working that field. The animals are in pretty good shape. I sorted those out in the last stream, so that should be good. Now, what have we got here? We can put you there. So I think we'll need all the horsepower over here. I didn't unfold it. Or rather, I'm pretty sure I left it unfolded. We'll drive it to the field. And then we'll unfold it. And then we can hook on. Good workhorse, the Fent. Ah, down. You down? You are not down. Now you are down. No. What's going on here? Why are you not sitting down properly? Oh, because I've brought the wrong darn piece of equipment, haven't I? I brought the rollers. I am really not thinking well today. Let's get rid of you. That explains why it was folded up incorrectly. Everybody can stop shouting at the screen now. And that explains why I thought I'd left it folded, unfolded, because this is the device I should have been picking up. There we go. Try not to hook the roller on the way past. Okay, seeing we're pointing in this direction, we will do a counterclockwise. That's better. And yes, I did see that tree there. I just wheeled it out of the way. That was my strategy for a problem I didn't want to have to solve. But as you can see, this one won't take us too long. Just that rock is going to be difficult. And the tree on the corner. But we're getting the job done. And we can turn the menu off. Get around there without getting caught on the tree. No, I cannot. Go around the other way. Come from the other side. Rightio. Look, I've been sort of looking at how much the pigs are eating and concluded we need at least double the amount of corn that we're producing off that cornfield, or equivalent, but pretty much it's corn. So at the moment their feed requirements are increasing faster than our land holdings, but we should be at a point where the land, we can put the funds more into land because we've got pretty much all the equipment we need in one form or another at the minute, either leased or purchased, and there's always something more that will come up. But with switching out the Lin for the Unimogs, I'm hoping that that brings our leasing expenses down. Come on. And consequently our month-to-month costs a little, so that we can accumulate some funds to get another couple of fields for the next planting. And of course, in a couple of months' time, we'll get the canola and the barley off. So things are certainly progressing. We now have our cows producing milk, so that helps. Leaving spots there. Lift and turn. Just anticipated it a bit. Accelerated too quickly. It's better. And I was wondering, I'd be interested in people's points of view. Should I expand the cow operation? Because we've only got 12 milk cows at the minute. Or should we go all in on the pigs and add another sty so that we can accommodate their increased breeding capacity? Because with the increased litter sizes, I'm kind of leaning towards the pigs. Just let the cows, add a couple more, but let them grow organically, because we can only get 40 into that cow shed. Whereas with the pigs, the sty we're using sort of holds 200 at a time. And so the first batch of 100 that we sell potentially generates, 50 grand profit and the funds for an additional sty. G'day, Cranky. Welcome along. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good start to the week. As you can see, we're just preparing to put our sugar beet in. There's not a silver beet in sight. There we go. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm kind of leaning towards making the pigs our commercial operation. I think they'll generate good money and they generate good mix of requirements for feed. So I'm kind of leaning, unless there's more of a popular vote, to expanding the pig operation in the short term, or letting it expand naturally, and see where we go from there. let's go over and get that little bit I missed. Because otherwise it would bug me. And we can turn onto this line here. And we'll be finished this one before you know it. I'm keen to expand the forage silo bunker system that we've got, but again my conclusion is that I need more land in order to have some bigger fields to get there. So it's really about how do we increase our land holdings, arable land holdings, so as to get to the point where we have the scale that we want. It's not that we're on a bad track. I mean, putting sugar beet in here will double the amount of sugar beet that we produce, so that's a good year-on-year improvement. We're planting out the same amount of corn, but we're not going to forage it this year. We're just going to harvest it for corn, so there'll be an increase of about a quarter in terms of volume of corn, and we've added a canola field, so we're definitely growing. I feel like I had a question for you, Cranky, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is. Oh, I missed 2 dots. Right, so let's lift you. So this is now ready to plant. We can get while we get set up to plant, we will check that we've got the right tractors on the right pieces of equipment. The rock picker, which rock picker are you using, Hodge One? And which rock picker, which map, and where are you trying to tip it? Because all 3 of those things can have a bearing on how it operates. Some ground you can't tip onto, for instance. Some crusher points are at a different height to what you expect. So it'd be 2 things. Let's have a look at the but we can certainly, there's enough horsepower in here to help you out for sure. That doesn't mean I'll know the answer to the question, but I'd be pretty confident people like Mark or Cranky would. Stone Valley, no mods, the yellow one. And where are you trying to tip it on Stone Valley? And by the yellow one, I assume you mean... Where are we here? Rock pickers. I've got stones. There we go. I assume you mean the Dagelman. One of these. You're tipping in your yard. You started on New Farmer. So you in your yard, you should be able to tip on the ground. I have used that. Oh, the Elho? Ah, orange one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so Cranky's question, are you using Control I? Is it Control I think, to unload? Oh, it's not Control on a, you're on a PlayStation, aren't you? So you need to find the menu option for force tipping, and I don't know what the controller button combination that's going to be. So you won't necessarily, when you're trying to put it on the ground, you won't get a trigger that says unload here. You'll need to go into your menu options for your controller and take the one that Cranky's referring to, which is force tip. Can I show you what the language? I think it's called force unload, isn't it? Let's have a look here. Have I got something with something in it? F1. Start filling. Both back buttons and Y on the Xbox. Left button, right button, Y. There you go. So you got two Xbox players. Will it let me? I haven't got a I've got too many options and not the one I want on there. Most unload options are those combinations, but it doesn't seem to let you. I'm stuck, so I don't know. I understand the problem, that's for sure. I have had it before. What I'm looking for, equipment that we have, medium tractors. So the 7810's 175, you're 188. So we want to put you on the planter. which means running the John Deere on the cultivator, I think. Yeah, that'll work. So we need to take you off. What ground surface are you trying to drop it on? Oh, that's a good point, Cranky. Yeah. Now, before you mess with the controller, just make sure you've got the rock picker implement active. So in the little icon at the top here, make sure it's the active implement. A grass and a bit of gravel should be fine, so can't imagine that's the issue. Let's go around the other side. Disconnect you off there. You can go up and get the seed tender in a second. And you're absolutely certain in your yard that you're actually not on a boundary? On the road, back of the field, nothing. So I can't remember. I haven't actually played Stone Valley, but I've seen a couple on there. I'm not sure if you can own the verges. So if you're on the boundary of your field, I know watching something Argsy did, he got caught out in one spot where he thought he owned the land that he was using, but he didn't actually. So you won't be able to tip on land you don't own. But if you're sure you're in the middle of a yard that you do own, or a field that you do own, you should be able to tip there. Right. Yeah, I only say that with Stone Valley because there are some little oddities with how the edges of some of the fields are defined from memory. There's some funny shapes, that's all. What I'm trying to do is engage my brain to create a job on this field. To do the field work, so let's put you up there. Course generator. Let's do 3 headlands. Let's start on the center and generate the course. Okay. And that's right, this doesn't like doing that. You're going to be able to manage it because it folds up funny. It doesn't... We'll just look away and assume that it can get itself where it needs to go. Let's go and get the seed tender. And we can load up. And if our cultivator has got into trouble, we'll come back and rescue it. As you've probably noticed, Todd, one, I don't have stones on as a general rule on any of my maps, so oh, that's still hunting for a field. So let's open the pipe out here. I'm pretty sure you filling you up could be an interesting proposition. Let's see. Do you want to be unfolded? That's the question. See, let's correct the correct seed type first. Let's see if that helps with the fill. The question is that because there's no vehicle on there? And I've encountered it before without a vehicle on there that it would fill. Do I need to open lids? You just don't want to fill, do you? Yeah, I'll put a tractor on it because I think you're right. But I've driven past it before disconnected, and as long as I had the pipe out, it tried to fill. But that's because the pile that's in the field somewhere was actually caused that way. So I had it parked there. I do not have a hitch on that way. You don't. How annoying. Well, full board of weight without a hitch on it. To out seed, pipe out seeds. There we go. Works much better if you select the correct hopper. Right. Is our cultivator. Our cultivator has sorted itself out, so that's good. The last time I did stones, in fact my preferred stone picking method is with a telehandler. And so a small telehandler and the bucket, the stone bucket that goes on the front. I don't think I've got it on here because one of these, well, something like this, but on a telehandler, and not necessarily this CSZ one. There's an even simpler one floating around. But you just turn it on and run around the fields. You're nice and maneuverable, and Bob's your uncle. So that was the way I tended to do it. And it struck me as something that I would be more inclined to have, i.e. a bucket I'd welded up to do the job rather than a whole machine to do it. Brush, turn you on. We are seeding beets. Does that not look right? Oh no, maybe it is. Let's have a look here. Growing sugar beet, that's what we want. The version of the bucket that I used, I could run on just an old beaten up telehandler. I was just trying to think of the one that I was using. I did a lot of it on Stone Valley because that was the map that I had stones turned on. Oh, not Stone Valley, Old Stream Farm. And I found I could sort of cruise around the field at about 25 kilometers an hour with the bucket just above, leveled just above the surface of the ground. Let's just pick you up. Do this headland at this end. And it was fairly quick and easy to do. It's not very wide, but the maneuverability made up for it. I don't mind that I didn't get that corner very good. There'll be plenty of sugar beet off this field. Oh, I like the fact that the little seed bogies are all independent. That's quite cute. And even though technically we're 20 horsepower short, we're pulling this around here okay. I think once we've got the cornfield in, we'll be in a position to roll forward. good thing about the 12-meter widths. You feel like you're making some progress. Don't mind this this planter at all. Reckon Jake might be on the lookout for one of these for Silver and Forest. Come on, you can find first. There you go. Nope, we've got stuck on the other field, have we? No, it sorted itself out. G'day Jason, how are you? How are you doing this morning? It is a very nice planter. I'm quite taken with it. We've only leased it for the moment, but the way it's performing, I think it might... Oh, g'day Tanner. Welcome along also. The way it's performing, I think we might save and invest. It seems to be working just nicely. At a good size for our fields, I think. I can see why. Jason, last night's stream you had to go and take a call when I did guess. Are you up round Wagga Way? Is that your 500 k's north of me? Or are you more Forbes ish? Narandra, there you go. Some good farming country around there for all our international viewers. Place that you'd define as being in the middle of not very much, but some good country. Or alternatively, a long way to everywhere. Why do I think I missed a bit? Probably because I did. Of the world where the towns for the most part have interesting names. I'll let Jason provide the informed view, but my guesses would be wheat, canola. They might run some sheep, but it'll mainly be big grain crops. Yeah, there you go. The main transport route connecting Melbourne and Brisbane runs through Narrandera. So there's lots of heavy equipment out that way. And the land both north and south is fairly flat. You go a few hours north and you get to places like Moree where don't even bother with fences, they just crop to the horizon. Driving through there on a sunny day, you just get serious mirages. It's very weird. Right, well, that's just about got our sugar beet in. Yeah, I drove it about late Feb, March. I had to take a load of furniture to my daughter who had moved to Brizzy. So I did the up and back in 4 days, which my body told me was a really dumb thing to do. But it was really interesting, having been playing Farm Sim for a while. I noticed a whole bunch of dealerships and equipment and all sorts of things that had probably always been there, but that I never would have seen before. Okay, so that's the sugar beet in. Let's remember to change to corn so that we don't... let's turn you off first, it'll work better. So that we don't accidentally put sugar beet in the other big field. Let's see if I need to back under there or whether it'll fill on the way past. Oh, it'll fill on the way past. There you go. Hopefully you escaped the worst of the floods, Jason. My daughter's down at the moment and she was saying that the detour around Forbes is pretty rugged, so we can only imagine the mess through Forbes. Trees out that way, pretty much eucalypts, although you've got this funny scrubby tree that in an area called the Pilliga. I can't remember what type of tree it is, and that's up more near Narrabri, I guess. Now what are we going to do here? It says it needs rolling. Should we roll it? What do you think, chat? Should we roll a sugar beet? Is that a smart thing to do or not? We have a tractor and time because our man over here is just got to the headlands by the looks. We should have limed this field, or we should lime this field before we seed it. So let's take care of that. Two and a half percent is probably quite a reasonable amount of sugar beet, isn't it? We need to go back over the road where we can. Did I put a lime? I don't recall having a lime silo, so we'll need bags of lime. We have two, Cranky. That was last night's stream. I got tired of paying for the Linda, and the Unimogs were 30,000 each, so we've just leased them versus 150,000 that we had leased for the Linda. So we've got one with the flatbed, and we've got one with the box on it, which is sitting somewhere. I can't remember where I've left that. Oh, it's over near the sugar beet. And I'm pretty sure I don't have lime kicking around anywhere. And so far I'm quite happy with them. They're not quite as maneuverable, which is why at the start of this stream we were organising some different ways to get to the market. But we'll send this guy across to the store. Vehicle buy sell. Oh god. Vehicle buy sell, there you go. You can't do it from there, can you? I've got a one-way road through the center of this field. I need to get you to the other end. But yes, I'm very happy with the Unimog. So it's doing the job quite nicely. Coming around there. So let's whack the portrait on the portrait, so to speak. Let's take you off there for now. There we go. Now, are you going to be able to, let's find out if you can do this without supervision. Open the course generator. Let's do two headlands. Start work in the center. .1 meters. You're wider than 3.1 meters. You are how wide? You are 9 meters wide, effectively, I think. Yep. 3 lots on there. We might go 8.5 just in case there's overlap. Although it doesn't really matter, does it? 2 headlands generate the course. That looks a little bit better. Start that. Oh, actually, let's not do that with this tractor. Let's drive you up there yourself. Don't fold up, champ. Won't end well. Righty-ho. There is the start point. It doesn't appear to be rolling. What are you doing? So we just watch. Are you actually going to lower the rollers, or do I have to do that for you? It would appear I have to do that for you. No, it's not going to work. Okay. Yes, it will. There we go. Finally got the combination right. Okay. As long as you lower it for him, he gets the job done. Now that's not taken the crop out, which I've encountered before with rollers, so that's good. Let's go get our lime. Our man looks like he's finished. What do we reckon we need for lime on that field? Let's buy... well, we know we need lime on the farm, so it's not a huge problem because most of the fields will need it after this year's cropping. So let's just buy 8. It's not super expensive. And that'll be plenty. Thoughtfully provided a bloke to stack them on the trailer. Oh, grab that luprasil as well. While we're here. Ah, interesting. Oh, it's because it's not full. Hang on a tick. That loading filter is any? No. Try selecting the correct device. That's better. Whoa, bit heavy. I'm not inclined to put that on auto drive because it's going to be a little bit unwieldy by the looks. We'll drive it back ourselves. What mug left that curtain cider sticking out in the road? So we have the lime, we have our rolling happening, we're cultivated. Shouldn't take but a minute to whip the lime around. I'm getting tipping 40 mile an hour for this turn might create problems. The Unimog even sounds right. Ooh. Alright, so let's just leave you there for the minute. I'll get this guy off the field. You can just sit over here. Get our spreader, which probably has some fertilizer in it, I suspect. It does. And I will unload that. Let's put a weight on the front just because it'll make it a bit more efficient. Are you up? Looks like the roller's doing okay over there, so that's good. So in real life, Jason, would you expect rolling to increase the yield or not? Or is it simply just a thing you do because it, I suppose it does increase the yield if it makes it seed properly, but it wouldn't surprise me if it had something to do with soil type as well, whether you rolled it or not. Okay, turn on the spreader and whoops, keep going. Red over everything. Oh, there was a couple of spots on the corners that we missed by the looks. Ah, okay. So rolling would be a technique that you'd only employ if you had a really basic planting method rather than these automated implements. Oops. Interesting. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Rightio. We're out again. Doesn't take long to chuck out 4,000 litres of lime, that's for sure. We're getting through a good day's work here. Why do I get the feeling I'm making... So that was a whole bag. I was trying to figure out why I had so many bags left there when I'd done 3 loads, but it's because it's taking bits and pieces of several. Okay. Let's come up this end. I think we're pointing this way. That oak tree leaning against the escarpment over there is your classical definition of an evergreen, even when disconnected from the ground. I reckon we're going to need just a little top up. Okay, we can probably drop the spread width down just to do this last lot. So that'll be a good job out of the way then. One field limed. Welcome along, folks that have joined us. Feel free to say hi. There are a few folks in chat who are doing their things in the background. Don't want to finish that one. How's the mini map looking over there? Not too bad. Yeah, I was pretty sure you were still there. All I can see is the number of viewers, and so when it spikes and tells me a few people have popped in, I just prompt just in case they think because chat's quiet that there's nobody else around. I think that's one of the good things that you can... I've spent lots of time playing the game, watching, you know, Virtual Farmer or FSG stream, or Argsy for that matter. Rightio, so that's that job done. We squeeze through there. Park you under the overhang for the minute. Actually, I might just pop you in front of the plough. Right. So, here's the roller going. So he's on his last run by looks. He's finished, in fact. Let's finish that off properly. One. Oh, come on, I'm sure you dropped. There we go. What's happening here? Why is that not down? Something very weird happening here. Why are you not working all of a sudden? Right, unfold you. Check the map. You're not switched on. I'm confused. I'm confused. I just can't put you on the floor. Maybe if I disconnect you completely, maybe that's what I need to do. And if that's what that growing is good. It's those two little spots that say they need rolling. So I don't understand why my roller is all of a sudden not working properly. It was working fine. Oh, hang on. I have to lower them individually. Didn't have to before. Right. There we go. Operator familiarity with the equipment, because the 3 individual rollers are detachable, would be my guess, from the frame. That's what I was looking for. Do a bit of a sweepy corner here. Not enough to worry about. Oh, the middle one's not down properly. That's interesting. That one. That's the one I wanted. Quite fiddly. Once you get it set right, it's fine, but it's not a device you want to be picking the rollers up at the end of every row, I think. Unless there's a way to... if I select the frame... I lift it. It does lift all of them, okay. Let's just see if I then lower the frame once they're all deployed. It does put them down, right. Okay, so that's the trick. It'll just be that when he folded up at the end of the... He lifted them all. Come on, background there. Well, let's go get our corn in the ground. Let's pull you off the field. You can sit there for the moment. Plant our corn, and it will have been a productive day for sure. Yes, we are planting corn, so off we go. The eagle-eyed amongst you would notice that the yarder is no longer sitting on that little escarpment there between... I think before the last stream I went through and tidied up a lot of our borrowed equipment to try and reduce our costs, and we just weren't using the yarder as much as I thought we might, so it had to go, along with the dinky little tiger that I was using to power it. This makes short work of this field too. Go right to the corner because, oops, bit of a jump there. To come back and fix that. There's a few undulations in this field. It's not billiard table flat. Here's another one. So we'll have a few corrections to imperfections to polish out. Tell you what, though, we'll have a few, when the seeds go a little bit further than I expected. 10 seeds per square metre is our current automatic seed rate. Which doesn't feel like many, but I guess corn plants are fairly sizable, aren't they? Handful of times I've planted it in our garden, I wouldn't have planted it anywhere near as densely as 10 per square metre, so I guess that makes sense. Let's see here. Soil at this end of the field wants it a bit on up to 12. We're in the red. We'll do this end while we're here. So what's the consensus? Should we roll the corn crop as well, or not worry with it? Don't have stones on the field, so I don't need those rolled in. And there's no twigs or stumps. And per Jason's advice earlier, it's not a crop that sits on the ground, so come on, I believe I left that little dot there. So that would tend to suggest we wouldn't roll it. Cranky wouldn't. I'm tipping Jason's vote will be for not, so I'm happy to go with that. It's coming up on cup of tea time anyway, so you'll see the neat thing about streaming is you make time where you want to, but given we're coming up, well, we just ticked over the scheduled end time for the stream. I'm not feeling too fussed one way or another. Jason's got a coffee for Smoko. Oops, don't like leaving those lime dots in the middle of the field though. Let's continue squaring this off. Sorts. We don't need you on, do we? So we did, I'm pretty sure I mulched here. But it's looking like consensus to me. We won't bother to roll. I'm still pleased I remembered to lime, so as far as I'm concerned, the yield is quite a long way ahead of what it was last time, which we need because the pigs are eating. Yeah, that doesn't count as a decision not to roll if you have a mod that doesn't require it. But yes, the pigs are definitely munching through the food. I understand, Tanner. It's funny how we get our sort of comfort blanket of mods that make the game feel the way we want to, and I quite like looking at the ones folks choose for themselves. It's just interesting to see which aspects of the game need more tailoring or adjustment for some people rather than others, just because of the play styles and things. I just find that quite intriguing. I noticed just before I came on, Giants is back at work, but we didn't get any mods the first day out. Maybe we'll get some tomorrow. I'm hoping there's a bunch there where creative people have sent them things to work on. Oh, they published a testing list. I didn't see that. How big is it? See, it does fill without a device connected to it if you have the because it does have a little pump on the front there. It's just a matter of having the correct hopper selected, and to change the hopper you need a device attached to it. So yeah, I figured the only way we would get some early this week is if they had things that were in the slot almost ready to go before Christmas, but just needed a couple of, oops, I'm on the wrong line. Never mind, we'll do it this way. Let's see if we can get the 2 bits up this direction. I'm sure that was their goal, Tanner, but having run testing teams, I know that despite your objective, you always get left with some pesky ones that just won't get over the line. Assuming you are actually enforcing some quality standards. You can't just shovel everything in, because the last thing you want when you close for a period is to create a bunch of issues in your user base. So anything that's not quite there, it's much safer to not ship it. Anyway, one way or another, we should start to see some content this week, I suspect. G'day, Scott. How are you today, sir? Are you still working at your casual gig? Hey, Pleasant View. I think everyone here knows, but just in case, Pleasant View is the legend behind the Alice and the Gleaner that we're using on the Silver Run Forest Farm series. So his channel, he's getting awfully close to the magic 1,000 mark, as is Scott. So give them some love if you don't already. Looks like I'm going to make 4,000 watched hours well before I get anywhere near 1,000 subscribers, which is just a really interesting curiosity from my perspective. No, you don't want to get those shapes there, do you? I did break out the big planter. I saw it in the store there and thought, we need to get this corn in fast. And it's, I must say, it's working a treat. There we go. Even managed to get the little bits. Hey, well, in my world, you are legendary, Pleasant View, because Silver Run Forest Farm is far and away my most watched series, and your Gleaner and your Alice are currently stars of the show. Jake loves them. They're doing a terrific job. Episode that dropped yesterday, the Alice took the lead in the baling operation. Oops, something's popping at me. A new release of the mod manager is dropped. Are you planning on it being a regular gig, Scott? Regular, hey, if another Alice came up in the store, I'm sure Jake would grab it. Pleasant View. As the title of the most recent video suggests, you can never have too many tractors. Probably this time though he would buy it rather than have it as a gift from Paige's grandfather. I think there's a limit to how many tractors it's reasonable to expect he kept in the shed. And Mark Haythornwaite is still awake. Almost got this corn in. It's a little older than Cabless. Well, Cabless is fine. Might have to be careful where he uses it on Silver Run. Wouldn't want a health and safety issue with the big Cabless brute on some of those steep inclines, but I'm sure we could find something to use it for. There's going to be a bit of work clearing that field down near Eddie's, so that would be terrific. And what was that tractor you were using on your stream yesterday? I didn't recognize it. The green one. I didn't recognize it because I don't know very much about tractors. Let's keep that in mind. No worries, Pleasant View. Got to keep the real work progressing. Okay, so that looks like the planting. All done. So what I'm thinking is we've got all our crop in. We're not going to roll it. We did roll a sugar beet. We need to empty out here. If I can. Is it going to let me? Turned on. That's interesting. Fold it first, you reckon? I figured it wouldn't let me if it was folded, but that could very well be right. I haven't used this one before. You'd have to be pretty tall to empty those top hoppers with it folded. There we go. Thank you, Mark. So we can return that. That did the job just nicely. Very happy with that. We're going to need the spreader. When we get some cash, we'll replace the seed tender because we want to own one of those. And we're on and off using most of the rest of the kit. We will replace the soil tester when we get an option in the store. But for now, I think we'll leave that there. Thank you very much, everyone, for popping in and joining us. Really great to see you. And we'll be back in 3 days' time. So Friday morning, although there's always the chance that FSG decides to stream and steals you all off to his show. But yeah, it'll be Friday morning, so Thursday evening, UK, US. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. See ya.